I'm Brad. Some of you may know that. So I've been doing VR YouTubing for 5 years now. Despite that, there are usually times where I think I've said everything that I feel is important to a video, but later on I kind of look back at it and think, I could have said something more important later on. So this video is, well, a giant follow-up video to many videos I've done, maybe over the past month or more. Who knows? There may be also some reaction to some comments that really hit me deep or something else, but instead of just making new videos for everything that I missed, I'd rather just do everything for things that are too small to make a new video, but also not big enough, something like that. So without further ado, this is the Sadly It's Bradley VR follow-up number 1. Let's get going. So while normally I would choose the most oldest video, there's something that I really want to bring to everyone's attention right away, because as time goes on in this video, people will just drop out. So, yesterday I posted a video talking about a patent, the Valve Index 2 patent. And first of all, there's something I kind of missed in that video. While the video was actually very accurate in explaining the overall functionality of the tracking system, there's still something I actually kind of missed, and I want to go over that now again. In the video, I mentioned that there's a camera and the IMUs, but there's actually something else. What I thought was being referenced as the lighthouse sensors in the patent is actually something called optical flow sensors. Optical flow sensors are actually stuff that a lot of computer mice use, the optical sensor in those mice. And Valve is looking to actually add those as sensors in the headset to also aid in the markerless inside-out tracking. The main reason I missed this originally when I was reading over the patent is, again, patent language is incredibly confusing unless you're a literal hardware engineer or patent writer. And all the older patents of older VR headsets from Valve actually kind of point out as the lighthouse sensors as optical sensors. So when I read the words optical flow sensors, I didn't realize that it was talking about something completely new. Again, the functionality will still be the same tracking system. The idea is to have either inside-out markerless or the choice to also use lighthouse. That is still referenced all in the patents. I just wanted to get over with that there is a new type of tracking system that Valve is looking to use. Other than that, there's one more thing that I feel is kind of important to bring up. This patent is actually not that new. Even though this version of the patent was published in January, like I said, there was actually a much earlier version, actually patented back in 2019, around the same year the Index released. So the language and everything written in this patent is almost exactly the same as the patent that was published in 2019. Why do I believe this is important? Well, the biggest thing is, if it was just something that Valve came up with the idea and just wanted to have a patent for it, they wouldn't even have bothered to actually change the patent or actually update it to add a few more differences in the actual writing. Especially to a patent that is literally 2 years old. So I want to explain why I believe that this patent is actually for a product that we're going to see very soon. There's a lot of differences between what you can have possible in a prototype unit and what is possible in a manufactured mass-produced unit. There's a lot of times where a company thinks that they have got the design completely down and that the manufacturing and automated systems that Valve actually has in place for building their headsets would probably work. But there are times where it doesn't work and they have to go back into the patent or the hardware design and tweak very, very, very tiny things to make it more, well, producible. Especially Valve having a lot of issues with the original Index. I'm sure they're very attuned this time to making sure that their product is at least have better quality control upon mass production. I really, really doubt, at least I hope that the next Index does not have the same failure rate as a lot of indexes that we've seen from the current gen. So again, this patent being updated from a 2-year-old patent with very, very tiny details changed is a good thing and makes me believe that they are actually looking in the manufacturing phase right now for the HMD. Whether or not this means you should not buy an Index right now, well, that's up to you. Personally, in my opinion, I would just wait. I know that hurts to hear, and I know people will get mad at me for saying that, but the Index is a 2-year-old headset this coming month. When the Index came out, the Valve engineers actually already complained that the hardware in it was already 2 years old, and now we're 2 years past the release, so it's just, that's a long time in VR hardware time. That's why even like $300 headsets are starting to catch up with like refresh rate and stuff. It's getting dated. It's getting outdated. Do I know when the Index 2 is going to come out? No, of course not. I don't know. I don't have any insider information, but I do think it's important to at least note that I do believe that they are in the manufacturing phase, at least to the point where they're figuring out what things in the Index 2 can be mass produced. Anyway, that's it. That's probably going to be the longest spiel of anything in this video, but I really feel this is very important, especially as you see other YouTubers, which I know other YouTubers are going to start covering this patent like right away. Just keep this in mind. I do think it is not just a patent troll situation. Now, the next video I want to touch up on is actually my Tundra tracker is all you need to know. I just want to say I'm incredibly happy with how I answered a lot of things in that video, and really, I don't have much more to add to the video. I just want to bring up the fact that they actually are sold out of everything in the Tundra Kickstarter, which is good because it only has like less than a few days left in the Kickstarter, which is so cool to see the interest in full body tracking from so many people. And it makes me wonder how HTC Vive is feeling. If you want like an early good idea review of the Tundra tracker, well, actually Thrillseeker actually just did a video very recently this week, actually reviewing a early dev unit. So if you're interested in how it actually works before the Kickstarter runs out, definitely go check out his video. Let me just say, after watching his video, I am definitely not canceling my Tundra tracker Kickstart. Even more news of success, DecaMove. But my DecaMove review video, again, I have nothing to add to it. I just want to bring up the fact that they've already sold more than 6,000 of these units already, which is insane. I knew that they were going to do well for the DecaMove, but again, this is just DecaMove by itself. This does not mean the headset or anything. So people are believing in the idea of hip locomotion becoming the next big thing for VR. 6,000 for a company that has not really proven themselves, despite what influencers like me and other people have said. I hate that word, influencers. But yeah, DecaMove is doing great. And also, they just released the DecaMove SDK on their GitHub. If you are a developer and you want to do some even more cool things with DecaMove support in your video games, that is now possible. So check out that link if you're a developer and you're interested in that. The video I did right after I reviewed the DecaMove was actually a video called DecaMove / hip tracking locomotion without DecaMove. Because basically I kind of realized that this product is pretty simple in design. It's just basically a bunch of IMUs. And at that time, a developer actually was able to use their mobile phone and kind of copy the software that the DecaMove uses to fool Steam VR into thinking that, hey, this is what you should be using for locomotion. Well, someone did that with my phone, and I did a video on that. And literally 2 days after I did that video, DecaMove themselves released a DecaHub software update for their DecaHub that actually allowed you to use your phone with a special Android app. iOS is coming soon. Or even a hip tracker, such as like an actual HTC Vive Puck or a Tundra tracker. You can even set that to be a locomotion while it's doing anything for full body. So DecaMove didn't have to do this, but they saw videos like mine. They saw the community talk about this, and they released it as a feature for free, which is crazy. That's really kind of them. Another video I had to bring up, the fact that I kind of dropped the ball a little bit, is my actual mouth tracker review. People were talking about how in that video, it looked like my avatar's mouth was not closing fully. And yeah, they're right. It was actually a big fault on my part a little bit. So I pretty much did the avatar completely, setting up for mouth tracking, which is a process in itself. And I kind of had the avatar not set up very well for the mouth tracker. It still was mouth tracking correctly, but it was also combining with my voice visines when I was talking. And that's why if you see any other mouth tracked video after that, you will see insanely accurate mouth tracking. And yeah, I really should have noticed that and re-recorded the video. I'm terribly sorry because I really like the facial tracker. I love it a lot, and I stand by face tracking and eye tracking as being a big thing. But yeah, what you see in that video, it's like way better than that review. I already said a lot of good things about it, but yeah, again, I just did not have a good visual representation. My bad. I'm sorry. Related to eye and mouth tracking is my Neos VR video. I don't really have much to add, except I was really sad that the first couple weeks of that video being released, it was not getting many views, and I was kind of sad because I really want more people to know about Neos. It's such a great game. However, I will admit that I did kind of only point out all the positives. The biggest negatives of that game are the UI and the performance. It's very CPU heavy, and the UI is very non-user friendly. Despite that, though, it's a free game. It's constantly adding new games that people are creating in the game itself. New games in the game itself. Weird words. And yeah, if you haven't checked out that video, I really think I did a great job showing off Neos. And if you love VR chat, if you love social VR, you will most likely love Neos. I swear to God. So after my Neos video, I posted basically a giant spam of Zenith videos. I want to talk about Zenith. I'm not going to talk about a singular video, but I just want to talk about that game. So for me, I got to be a partnered content creator for that game, which means I was able to test it out early before even Kickstarters got to try it out. And I will say, this is a game you should definitely have on your wish list or just watching development of. The only reason I spammed so many videos of it is because I literally spent 2 weeks while I could play it and having a really good time. It's very alpha still and beta, and there's still so many more features they need to add. And I want to say the developers of that game are working so hard, and it's very obvious to me. I just want to go back to talk about a couple, like a month or so before the actual week that the alpha happened. They actually brought in a lot of content creators in a build, and while I can't say anything about the build, I just want to say when I was trying out that build, it looked really rough, and I really thought I was not going to have a good time by the time the alpha came out. But the devs worked so hard in that month, and the final product of the alpha was just so amazing and really just sold to me how cool that game is going to be when it actually releases. Which we don't really know the release date of, but when that thing releases, seriously, just watch that game. It's gonna be it's gonna be the greatest VR MMO we have so far, 100%. So the next video is it got a little controversial actually, more than I really expected near the end there. But Vive Pro 2, it was more of a reactionary, but I still stand by everything I said in that video, except for one thing I said at the end. I said I was not gonna pre-order it. Well, I changed my mind and I decided I was gonna pre-order it. Whether or not that means I want people to buy the device, well, the main reason I pre-ordered it is because there's some things that I found out about it that makes me incredibly fascinated to review it. So I will be doing a very crazy in-depth review. If you've never seen my in-depth reviews, look at my Oculus Quest 2 review. It's like super long, but I swear I work really hard on my reviews, and there's concepts such as things such as it uses something called I don't remember what it's called, but it's a lossless visually compression with the newer GPUs, which they already talked about. But what I learned after the fact, there are things like if you have a older GPU that doesn't support that compression, then it actually kind of renders a certain resolution and then upscales it up to 5K. And while I don't have an older GPU to test that, there's a lot of other small things like that that make me really fascinated just to test out some other aspects. I've also had some questions about mic quality and like even the actual pass-through cameras. Some people are very interested in that. So again, I stand by everything I said about the lack of eye tracking in that headset. I still think that's a big blunder, honestly. But I will still review it, and I will give it the most fair review that I can give it. I mean, it has Lighthouse. I love that. I love Lighthouse headsets, so we'll see. The next video I want to bring up is titled Full Body Tracking for the Masses is Coming. And that video did very well. I'm very glad it did because I think it's very useful to note. The video was talking about full body tracking like kits that didn't require Lighthouse base stations, which was going to make full body tracking a lot more accessible, especially if you have something like a Oculus Quest 2 and you use Steam VR. Yeah, I was covering a few of the projects and nothing more to add about the projects. They're all very happy that I covered them. But what was happening was I was seeing more come up after I did that video. There was even one brand new one that literally just was announced the same night that I uploaded that video that only required 2 web cameras and the software to make full body tracking work. Just 2 web cameras, nothing else, which is pretty freaking insane. That being said, it's more designed to mo-capture for game studios to sort of record animations for 3D models. But at the same time, they did say that they plan to actually make it work with like VR chat and VR and stuff like that. A cool thing about that is it actually has another application for eye and face tracking and hand tracking. All with web cameras. That's freaking insane. So yeah, I still stand by that video completely. I still say full body tracking, eye tracking, and face tracking is going to be so big for VR someday that everyone that's kind of laughing at me now for putting such a big deal on it. I mean, the interesting thing about doing YouTube and like tech reviews and tech reactions and stuff is one day in the future, people will look back at my videos or other people's videos that do tech reviews, and they're just gonna kind of enjoy people's reactions now that like the things that we think are new now are really passe by then. So every video I do on tech hardware is kind of like history. And me, myself, I love looking at like tech videos from the 1990s, tech review videos, and just seeing everyone's reactions about very basic stuff. And I feel the same thing will happen with all the VR videos I'm posting now. So even if I don't get a lot of views on them, I will still enjoy the heck out of all the people in the future of VR that will look back and say, hey, this guy was probably right. Or was wrong. We'll see. Finally, we have my video on VR Locomotion. This video actually, the reception of this video actually blew me away. I have never seen a more fascinating to read comment sections on YouTube in my life. So many people, so many of you wrote very interesting like experiences, or like even some developers talking about like what they thought about when they developed their VR games in Locomotion. It is a beautiful, just a beautiful comment section for that video, and the reception of that video was just all very positive. I had a few people, but they were just, I don't know, trolling or something. But overall, that has been one of the most fun videos to actually record and see the reactions for. And a lot of people brought up many different things to my attention I didn't even know about in the comments section. That so many things in that comment section I'm going to have to do a whole follow-up video on. So stay tuned for all that. But again, thank you for that amazing comment section. Just again, just so cool. Anyway, that's everything. If I didn't mention the video from like the past couple months or so in this video, that probably means that, well, I'm happy with it and there's nothing I need to add to it. There's only a few of those, but still. I don't do YouTube with scripts. I think scripts kind of make me feel a little more fake, and it just kind of goes off better when I just talk from my brain. It makes me more emotional, which I think emotion is good for a YouTuber. You may disagree. And yeah, I just want to like take the moment to say thank you to everyone. We're getting a lot more growth back on the channel. This channel has been kind of dead because I pretty much did nothing with it for like 2 years, which is why I have a very high subscriber count and pretty low view count a lot of time these days. But I'm very thankful for the people that are either new. I even have a lot of people coming back to my channel from a long time ago, which is awesome. I'm very thankful of your loyalty. Is that the word I used? I don't know. I'm very thankful. Just thanks, everyone. I will do my best to just find as many interesting VR topics that I can. And yeah, that's it. I'm not going to give you guys the middle finger. I already did that. So I'm going to give you another finger. Thanks, guys. You're all the best. Bye.